Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In today's lesson we'll be speaking about the Alif and the Hamza and to compare both letters. Now some students are a bit confused about this because we know that the Alif and the Hamza can occur together. Now even when they occur together, it's actually known as Hamza and not Alif. So let's just briefly talk about each letter, inshallah. So the first point to know about the Alif is it's never at the beginning of a word. It only occurs in the middle of a word or at the end of a word. Next point, it's actually never alone. You'll never have an Alif on its own. There is actually, however, only one exception to this, and that's in the Quran, with the huruf muqatta'at. For example, Alif Lam Mim. Now, although it's written like this, it's pronounced as Alif. Now, we don't know what the meaning of Alif Lam Mim is. So it can begin an ayah, but not a word, technically speaking. But this is an exception to the rule. So what you should know is that it never occurs in the beginning of a word, and it's never alone. So you won't find the Alif on its own like this. It has no meaning. On the other hand, Hamza has a meaning on its own. We have a particle known as Hamzatul Istifham, which is a particle of interrogation. Next, it's used predominantly as a long vowel. Now I've got lessons on this, on the long vowel, and you can listen to that, but that is its primary use. It's used as a long vowel, what's known in Arabic as mad. And the other usage is what's known as al-alif al-fariqa. And this occurs with verbs, specific verbs, where we have the waw al-jama'a, which denotes the masculine plural. And we have the alif here, written, but it's not pronounced. So it's jalasu. Now the Hamza. There are two types of Hamza, and I've spoken about both types. Hamzatul wasl and Hamzatul qata'. And the Hamza can occur, unlike the Alif, can occur in any part of the word, in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of a word. That's the case with Hamzatul qata'. With Hamzatul wasl, it's only found in the beginning. To get more details about this, I advise you to listen to the lessons about the two different Hamzas. Now, just to demonstrate this, here we have three verbs where the Hamza is in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Here it's on its own, and here it's with the actual Alif. And this shows the close relationship between the Hamza and the Alif, where it's actually sometimes reliant upon the Alif. And the way the Hamza is written is in a number of ways, as opposed to the Alif. The Alif is only written like this. The Hamza can be written in these ways. So on its own, on top of the Alif, on the bottom of the Alif, on top of the Ya and the Waw. So the Hamza is more complicated than the Alif actually. There's actually quite a bit of discussion regarding how the Hamza is written. And on its own, with an Alif, a Waw or a Ya. And this sometimes changes with different conjugations. Now, here we have a word, al-qalam, the pen. Now we see the Alif here. Now we said the Alif can never be at the beginning of a word. And in fact, this is not an Alif. It's a Hamza. Because we say al-qalam, al-qalam. That a sound is actually the Hamza. A, u, e. That sound that is made by the Hamza and not the Alif. So this is actually Hamzatul wasl. And although the sign of Hamzatul wasl is not written, it's assumed to be Hamzatul wasl. You might not see the sign of Hamzatul wasl, but you will see the sign of Hamzatul qata'. These. But know that an Alif never begins a word. So that's briefly about the structure and where they're used. Now there's other differences, which are the Alif is never a base letter. So I have a lesson on base letters. In Arabic, words are derived from base letters, and usually 3 base letters. But Alif cannot be one of them. if we see an alif, for example, Sara, Qala, these are verbs. Here, this alif actually represents a ya. And this alif here represents a waw. On the other hand, the hamza can be a base letter. And in actual fact, if we look at those verbs, that's a base letter, that's a base letter, and this is a base letter. Now if we look at ja'a, which means he came, you notice there's an alif here. This alif in the middle. We told you it's never a base letter. It represents a ya. So the base letters of ja'a is actually a jim, a ya, and a hamza, and not an alif. Now an interesting point is when we look at the classical dictionaries. This is actually from a classical dictionary called Al-Mufradat, from a famous scholar, Raghib al-Isfahani. So he actually divides his book according to letters, and you read Kitab al-Alif. It doesn't mean that the author thinks that alif can be a base letter. But what he's trying to highlight is the close relationship between the alif and the hamza, where sometimes you can use them interchangeably. In terms of their script, how he showed you with the word al-qalam. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.